Hello, welcome to Traditional Logic. This is the third day of covering material in the introduction, which will take us to the end of the introduction. Just as a review, last time we especially spent some effort looking at the components of an argument. We looked at the syllogism, all men are mortal, Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. We learned that all men are mortal is a premise. Socrates is a man is our second premise. Together, we make the logical conclusion, therefore Socrates is mortal. We divide these things into two parts. We say that every logical process has a mental act, and then that mental act has a verbal expression. The first part of that mental act we call simple apprehension. Simple apprehension is just our senses taking in the information. We don't affirm or deny anything about it. We just possess it. We just see or hear, smell or taste it. We know it's there. Once we do that, we now express that as a term. We recognize the concept and we give a term to it. In the syllogism we looked at before, we see this has three terms. It has the term men, mortal, and Socrates. Terms are going to be nouns. Once we've done that, we then are able to make a judgment. In making a judgment, we take the information and now we do something mental with it and make decisions about it. The book gives the example of saying, this book is boring. We recognize that something is a book and we say that this book is going to be boring. Once we've said that, that's our proposition. Having made a judgment, we verbally express that as a proposition. We then take this information and make a deductive inference. When we verbally express this in an argument, we now put that deductive inference into the form of a syllogism. So let's just review a little bit or look at the example. All men are mortal. Socrates is a man, therefore Socrates is mortal. We begin with the apprehension of what these things are. We express them as terms, men, mortal, and Socrates. We are now making judgments, making propositions about this. We're saying all men are mortal, and then we make the judgment or give the proposition, Socrates is a man. And now we make a deductive inference. Knowing that all men are mortal, knowing that Socrates is a man, we infer, we make the deductive inference that Socrates must also be mortal. When we put all these three things together, we now have what we call a syllogism. We're going to have a lot more practice with syllogisms on Friday in the next lesson. We'll review what they are and talk about them as well and give a few more examples. Until then, you should read pages 4 and 5 and do the exercises for day 3 in Moodle. In the next lesson, we're going to practice a lot more with syllogism. It'll also serve as a bit of a review for the quiz that we're going to have on Monday, August 28th. As always, if you have any questions, let me know and I will try and answer them for you.